Trying to encapsulate this Shabbos and put into a few minutes over here is a very hard job. But having the schia and the schis of being here the third year already, we know the Manchester, how would you say Manchesterian people? How do you say? Mancunian. Oh, that's a nice one. Amazing people. This is amazing shtut. Echte, shine idoliden. Mamish amazing. We're walking the street. I walked home with my wife. We're walking the street. And you'd say, Shalom Aleichem. You know, where you're staying. Chlais, such friendly people. Baruch Hashem. There was a woman, an elderly woman, an older woman. She reached out to her husband. She said, how are we doing in our marriage? And he said, I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest. I want to divorce you. So she said, why do you want to divorce me at this age? We lived together so many years. And he said, you don't do anything anymore like they used to. The laundry, the this, the that. You're old and frail. You're not the same. You're just not being a wife, a housewife. So it's going to read anymore. So, I want to divorce you. She starts crying. She says, I don't understand. Don't you remember when we were young, what I did for you, what I did in the house, and I raised the kids? And she started crying. She said, Al tashlichayni la'ay ziknu. Don't throw me away when I'm getting old. Kichles kachayni, when I don't have koich anymore. Al tazvayni, don't forsake me. This is the very same thing we are telling the Rebbeinu Shalom. We are 2,000 years in Gulas. In the beginning of time, we tell the Rebbeinu Shalom, yes, Sadorfen, millions of problems, Frayin and etc. Our kips and our hiding in the shumas that we're dealing with. It's rampant, and all the nisyon it's a shvache dor. But Rebbeinu Shalom, don't forget who we were in the beginning of times when we got married by Matan Torah, by the Beis HaMikdash. We were the most amazing Klal Yisrael. We did everything for you, the Rebbeinu Shalom. We did all our mitzvahs and massive toivim. Knesses Yisrael, Kala K'niyah B'Kiriyah B'Nimo. We are Yikala, we are married to you. We're married through the Torah, our Ksiva, and we did everything. But Al Tazvayni, just because Kichles Kachayni. Say to the Rebbeinu Shalom, please, don't forget what we did for you, all the Doiras. Versteht sich. Abster says, don't worry. I'm going to bring you home soon. Nobody is to blame of what's going on in this dar other than the Aricha Sagulas. The Aricha Sagulas of being in Gulas for so many years, going through a lot. Le'imiki is sipper, what we do have. If your child is doing a mitzvah, keeping Shabbos at 2025 in America, in Manchester, and it's a Cyril, with all this Sionis, with the Bilbilim, what's going on in the last 5 years in our life, let alone the last 20, the last 30 years, since COVID and Vatim, and we're still davening, and we're crying. Our biggest issue is our child's Yiddishkeit. Isn't there a greatest Kiddush Hashem in Shemayim? This is the greatest Kiddush Hashem. What are we worried about? The Rebbeinu Shalom's kids. The Gemara says the Yetzer Hara is called the Melech Zucken Ichsil. Sometimes it's called the Melech. Sometimes Zucken, the Alte, he coming with his old tactics, Ichsil, Akrime. He is very wise, the Yetzer Hara, and he tries to come in every tactic in every generation. And Kichles Kechayni, when we're getting old, when Gula is so long, he's trying to come with Nai Chachmas. We need to come back and fight the Yetzer Hara with new tachbilas. Our event this Shabbos, for all of you that were here for Shabbos, and the previous Shabbosim, and all the other events that Unconditional Parenting is doing, we are not bringing a new Yiddishkeit to Klal Yisrael, Chas v'Shulam. It's all based on Torah. It's all based in the past. The tactics are changing. How to deal with the Melech Zukan Echsel of the new generation, and to save our kids at home, and to save the kids that are already verblonget, the kids that said, Kichles Kechayni, we can't anymore. How can we save them? So we are coming up and we're trying to figure out new ways of how to deal with them. There's a moide gesagt that last week, the night before I left New York to come to Manchester, I davened Milchamarev in Shiner Shila Muncie, if you know, it's a mini factory of Muncie. And I meet a young man, he comes over to me, he tells me my name, Shloime Ehrlich. He introduces himself, he's a guy in a Muncie, I never knew him before. And I schmoozed with him, and whatever, it looks like we shared some kind of a case or something that he knew, that I know. Toich Kedai Dibber in the conversation, he shares with me a beautiful masa about the Heilige Beis Yisrael. The Beis Yisrael from Ged, we all know that he didn't leave any children. But he told me something that I never knew, when I can get it. And he told me that the Beis Yisrael had 2 kids before the war. And what's interesting to know that I'm sharing with you this masa now is Mamish Yata the Shmaya, because I just ran home to the apartment to pick up something with my wife and with Heshi. And on the way, I'm sharing with Heshi, I'm sharing with them this story that I want to maybe say the story tonight. And I didn't remember the names of the Beis Yisrael kids. As I'm saying that, I get a bucher. I'm Bishop wrote, I get a bucher. I said, I get a bucher. I'm going to say goodbye. What were the names of the Beis Yisrael? He said, the door. He said, ich denke, the zin. He walks up and he screams after me. He said, Reb Leibel. Ja? Ich habe nicht gedacht, der Nummer. Als sie hatte der Schmeier, that pinked, and I said, what's the story with the Heilige Beis Yisrael? This Reb Leibel was am Nachas. I heard that Mamish Ili, get shots, get betemers. And then he had a daughter, Rivkele. This Rivkele was a troubled teenager in a certain sense. I don't know how far. But definitely, the way this young man told me that he heard the story from Rebbe Shavais, it gave me the whole details. His Zayde is a brother to Shavais. It's a Karanta Maser. Maybe the Gerach Hasidim know the story. That this Rivka was struggling. She was struggling teen. The Beis Yisrael came to Manchester, and it was by Shabbaton from Unconditional Parenting. Kidding. Heilige Tzaddikim didn't need us, they had the Torah. And the way he was treating this daughter, he was so connected with her. He was mamish giving her all the love in the world. As she went to the theater, he walked with her till there. He waited for her to come out, and he asked her all about it, which part she enjoyed. One time he ran after her with a coat. It was cold, he'd take a coat, and he was waiting. Every single time, wherever she went, he went with her. Like we witnessed today, I get a chusa. They didn't even know that you're following your own Rebbe. Eventually, she turned out to be a tzaddikus. She got married, and she ran the moises, the schools. I don't know exactly this. Nebuch, both of them, the Rebbe Leibel, Rebbe Tzrivke, were both nifta by the Mechome. My sister didn't bring them here. So what we're preaching over here, what we're learning together over here is Ishkanai Zachen. And there's many Sepirim and Masas from our Tzaddikim. You know the Baal Ma'am Chaim, Rabbi Yitzchak mentioned that the Baal Ma'am Chaim, the Heilige Baal Ma'am Chaim had a son like this. We all know the story, he kept him by the tish. The Baal Ma'am Chaim lost to some of his Hasidim, his Talmidim, they said, the Shai gets sitting by tish and we're leaving. He said, you could go, he's my son. He said, Oivanun, near him. For years, at the end of his life, he did Shiva. Did Shiva, became healthy. So what are we doing over here? We're not coming with new Torahs. We're not bringing new stuff. We're being mechadish, the alte Sachen, that we should be able to implement it and do it. So what are we doing? We're doing a shift change. Chmotze Shabbos, Matzai Lamas, the Heilige Chos's oldest son, auch hat gedacht, ich know the guys, the Heilige Chos's ältester Zin, was traveling in Poland, and he stayed in a hotel, in an inn. Kretsch was an inn, a motel. He stayed over there overnight, and it started raining and pouring. And he had to stay for another night and another night, a few nights. He couldn't leave. It was mamish a storm, there was some buggies. He couldn't. And he didn't have enough money to pay for this, for the babus, for the extra nights. There was no credit cards, he couldn't pay. So this Amuris, the Ida, whoever owned the inn, said, listen, hey Rebbe, I see you're a Rebbe, but you can't leave before you pay me. He said, Adrabba, he said, maybe I have something. He went, opened up a suitcase, he started looking through the chafaitzim, the possessions, the things that he had. And he said, he found a watch, a clock, and a nice clock. And he said, if you give me this, you're good to go. You don't have to pay me. It was much more worth than the 3 nights, but he didn't have money. And he was a tzaddik. He didn't want to owe Ayid Geld, Chaz Hashem. He said, Okay, you're satisfied, I'm satisfied, get Shabbos. He left. What was that clock? That clock, he yashed from his tate, from his father, the Heilige Chayze. He just came back from Lublin, and all the brothers took different chafaitzim, and we know chafaitzim of a tzaddik. The Marnaim of Pasha Shoiftim says that every chayfetz that a tzaddik uses, he takes out the gashmi, he says rachmi, just like the man. It can be sometimes a gashmi in this world. They elevated, they used it for such kedusha that it's not considered a gashmi, it's rachmi. Heilige chafaitzim from tzaddikim. A few months later, the Berish for Radoshitz, the Heilige Radoshitz, who was the Talmud of the Chayze, happens to be, he stayed in that same motel, and he slept in the room, and the morning when he was checking out, when he checked out from the place, the Babus tells him, what's going on with you? You were singing a whole night. And I've had such what kind of people, who are you? He said, I'll tell you, something very, very interesting happened in this room. You know, me all my life, every time I look at my watch, I see the tick, another second passes. Every second that passes, I get, oh yeah, I'm a minute closer. I'm another second closer to give a din. From the Shloime. I think it was because today I covered by Malal Oimer, my Busalana to Ehrlich, with Nai, me out was lit in the Mechashmu. So pach noch a second, like I have another mitzvah. All my life I lived. When I'm going to be standing in front from he said something happened when I was in this room. There's something about the clock. Every second that I get tick, tick, I felt like I'm closer to Mashiach. Another second closer to Mashiach. Another second closer to Mashiach. I started dancing. I never had my whole perspective of life changed in this room. What is this clock? Where do you have it from? So he told them that this and this Eid was here and ich hab this the Heilige Chayzes. So it's an interesting Chassidish Maaseh. But the story is that Tzaddikim, he was able to tap in, it must be that the Chayze lived like that. And the Heilige Radoshitze understood why he had to stay in that room, to change his way. Why are you looking for negative? Another second of tzudas, What's going to be a negative? That's not running towards gain, that's running away from pain. The Chayze for Lublin, every second of it's like a hard now. It's terrible what we're going through. This problem, that problem. Nisyoin is Schwierigkeiten. But was noch a sekunde neites to Mashiach. Noch a sekunde neites to the salvation. My own Ge'ila, the Ge'ila from Klal Yisrael. This is something that's called a shift change. We change the way, our perspective, the way we see the world and the way we see Nisyonis. How do we want to be every time we look at we're 2,000 years in Gulas, 2020, and noch a sekunde neites to Mashiach. Noch a sekunde neites to Mashiach. We geht schon endigen bald. We geht schon bald bei Atat, in Kozah Chakele, b'chal yom shiu, v'yedem minute. When we stop focusing on our problems, wie lang says, wusse is noch, looking backwards, it's something that's impossible to change. If I would ask everybody in this room to close your eyes and give one wish. Think of one wish that, let's say I have the magic button, and I would say, whatever you wish, think of something, I'm going to press this button, you're done with that thing. What would be your wish? I'm sure all of us thought about one big major issue in our life. I wish this problem would go away. I wish that problem would go away. I wish I would have enough money to solve all the problems. The wish is to take away a problem. As we said today, we're talking a little bit about tefillah. It bothered me that it was such a short time to bring out the avodas tefillah. Is conversations of days and months. But the Mishnah zukt in Pirkei Avos, asai ritzoynoi ritzoynechu. You should make your Rutzu should be der Boine Shloim's nutzen. We are trying a whole day. We're teaching kids to do this, and it's false. It's not emes. We're teaching them that they should try to change Hashem's Rutzen. Hashem orchestrated exactly what I need to go through in this world. So Bakant, we all know that in the Rebbe from Crisis Chinuch, Reb Shimon Russell always says the Gemara. The Gemara says the Siddadat, she brings it with Tippezi, Mati Yeleu, Uni or Yushid. When a child is conceived, the Malach takes up the tip and asks, what should this child be? Rich or poor, Gibber or Chulesh. So everything is preordained. So the Gemara says, Hakel b'dai Shemayim, Chitz mi Yiras Shemayim. The only thing that's really up to us is Yiras Shemayim. You have to work on Yiras Shemayim. The rest is pre-orchestrated. Rashi HaKodesh says, Chol Moiroisav, how many times did we hear this? Chol Moiroisav v'Koroisav. Every event that's going to go through your life is orchestrated before you come down in this world. The good, the bad, and the ugly. There's no bad and no ugly, but in our eyes. The tough moments, the good moments, it's all there to shape us what we need to go through in this world. So what are we davening? Saying to the Bani Shalom, you don't know what you're doing? Of course, there's very few parts in Tefillah that we actually ask for the fear and everything else, because Hashem wants us to ask, because we have a koich to daven. Hashem wants to come through us. But we are not here to change the Hashem's rutzen. We are here to make it easier for us. We are here to take out the message of the Schwierigkeit, of the challenges that we go through. So I want to read to you 3 lines that I tried to live by these lines the last shtik tzat, and I felt it's a good thing to share. We all made a wish before. Don't wish for your problems to go away. Wish you would have more skills. Don't wish for less challenges. Wish for more wisdom. Don't wish it was easier. Wish you were stronger. What we came for this Shabbos is to sagen, Rebbeinu Shalom, shkoyach, 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 van mir geben deine Sohn, van mir geben als Kind. Thank you, Hashem, for giving me this. It's hard for me. It's taking over. I've been through. I threw my tantrums already. Imploded, exploded. I did everything. But now in a place, I realize Rebbeinu Shalom, aside it's under its anechu. But what do we need? Skills. Once you have the skill to deal with something, we have millions of problems and all have different things, but you have the skill, it's easy. I have a friend of mine who's a mechanic in Muncie, and he explained to me there's like the carburetor, I don't even know what it is, a part in the car that it used to take him 3 hours to change, to take out the engine. He went to some kind of show, mechanic show, where he found a new tool over there, something he could change in a half an hour. He picked up the skills. So now he can make double, triple the amount of money. He helped himself. He saw how silly he was. He didn't go to these Shabbatons from mechanics, so to speak, to pick up the skills and the wisdom and the strengths, the chizik from other mechanics, how to deal with this. What we need in our life is skills. Anytime you have a problem in front of you, you say, what skills do I need now? You have a business, you say, okay, I need to bring more customers. So I'm probably missing skills in sales. You're good at sales? I'm missing skills on how to hire and fire workers. I'm missing skills. We are missing skills. Learn and reach out to people that have the skills. And then suddenly, you're able to deal with it. And you feel stronger and you have more wisdom. You're able to deal with it. Shabbosim like this, events like this are to give us the skills, understand, what do I do when my daughter suddenly walks in dressed like a certain way? What do I do when my son goes over the derech? What do I do when that happens? What do I do with my other kids? All the beautiful conversations we had throughout Shabbos. These are new skills. We're going home with new skills in our pocket. Nobody came here to take away your problems. But when you have the skills, the wisdom, and the strength, it's a walk in the park. I spoke from Melamdim a while ago. How to deal with difficult kids and different things, different training, different Sachen. And we're going through different challenges, different things. And one Melamed says, I'm a Melamed 30. I can't control the class. I'm strict. 30 kids are dancing and singing. And the other Melamed walks in there. He has conviction. Conviction is the right word. He owns the place. Everybody is there without screaming, without yelling. He's controlling the class perfectly. What does he have more than the other guy? Skills. He has a skill. There's a mahalach. There's a way to control a whole place. There's a way for a speaker to get everybody quiet to listen to you. There's a way to do it. Over here, no, over here it's easy because you all came to. But how many times you're sitting by a simcha of a mitzvah? My friend made a bar mitzvah in Williamsburg a couple of years ago, and he asked me to speak. Over there, people are not really into the simchas every night, and people speak and meret. And I was like, I'm interested, but it's a type for him, for the bar mitzvah boy feels good that his father's friends are speaking about the bar mitzvah. I stood up over there and everybody schmoozing so loud, I couldn't even hear myself. I was talking, I tried to all my skills. Okay, I started speaking in English. I suddenly switched over and I said, continue talking, and everybody's like dropping the spoon, looking at it. Within 2 minutes, something caught their attention, so different, and then suddenly I switched back to Yiddish and I got them till the end. It was funny. It worked. It's like, whoa, etwas is anders do. There's a skill for everything. There are skills, there's a set of rules, there's a set of tools, there's a mahalach how to deal with a child that's behaving like a maniac. There's a way to do that. There's a mahalach for everything. So what we need to stop, I'll talk to myself, believe me. We need to stop crying about the challenges. We need to start being excited and looking out for having the wisdom, the koyach, the strength, and the skills to deal with it. Every new challenge that comes in, they say, who in the world is the right person to reach out that can give me the skills? People think therapy is only therapy. Yeah, there's talk therapy. Most of the times it's picking up skills. Shalom bias is skills most of the time. I have people coming to me for Shalom bias all the time. I teach the 5 levels of communication. I have like a whole mahalach. Heavier conversations, easy conversations, how to communicate. He last asked the solution, but all going to say, if we would have better communication, it's all about communication. And you're right, communication is key. We just don't have the skills. Where did we take this? How do we know marriage? We looked at our parents, Rabbeinu Shalena. Where they were surviving. They were not living like us or their parents. Not to their fault, they're different things. Our generation, we want to have a good shalom bayis. Go pick up the skills, and you'll use that skills. Your children are going to learn naturally. They're not going to have to learn it. They're going to know exactly how to communicate effectively with their spouse. I had someone in my office, and he said he's very upset. He's very turned off from his wife. Very, very turned off. What's the geschehen? He said he was by her father's Shabbos, Sida. And she said something about him, and he got very embarrassed, something she shouldn't have said in front of her family. He got hurt, very, very hurt. So she says, okay, it's Tuesday. It happened Shabbos. I said I'm sorry 25 times. I did a mistake. I shouldn't have said it. I was, but can we all make that mistake? Absolutely. He's turned off. Where does that come from? Where does that come from? There's a beautiful skill that I'm going to give you now, which hopefully will do this, and our kids are going to have it naturally. Asherechu if you have already this skill. There are different types of emotions, different types of feelings that a person can have simultaneously. We can have certain feelings together, and certain feelings you can never have at the same time. You could love someone, but you cannot love them and hate them at the same time. You could love someone and be upset at them at the same time. You could be hurt and still love them. And many, many other types of emotional equations, different types of feelings together. This works, this doesn't work. When a little child, let's say when I was a kid, when I was punished because I hit my brother, whatever I did wrong, I felt that I'm not loved now. I'm not loved now. This is, what did you do? What did you do? And then I had to earn my love. You earn your love when you behave, when you bring a good test at home, when you give nachas for the eltern. Your parents love you. And when you don't behave, and you're not so good, you're misbehaving, you're not so loved. That's an avle gedoyle. We're all trying to fix this with the kids that are already struggling. But imagine what we could do, what I do for my son. My son hits his brother, let's say, and he does the same thing that I did when I was a kid. I say, you're misbehaving, you're hurting him the whole time. You are going into your room right now for half an hour. Don't you dare come out of your room for another half an hour. You're going to learn that you're not going to hit this brother and that brother. But I can't wait for you to come out to see the most beautiful face. I can't wait to give you a hug when you come out, but go into your room right now for half an hour. He's going into that room knowing that his father's strong. His father is disciplining him, but love, and I'm upset at him why he's turning over the whole house, and everybody has to walk around on eggshells around it for that half an hour, for this, whatever he did. But Tati can't wait to see me. He loves me so much. And it's true, I love him like crazy. This kid, the Ezra Hashem, when he's going to grow older, and his wife is going to say something by the Shabbos table, he's going to tell himself, I love her, but I'm very, very hurt that she did that. How long is he going to be sold for that? How long are you going to be turned off? You don't have to be turned off. Your spouse said something they didn't. They shouldn't. They did something they shouldn't have to. Why getting turned off? All of us are getting turned off. I'm doing Shalom Bayis 20 years with people. Why? Again, if there's no love in the first place, that's a whole different situation. We're talking about a couple, a regular couple that's settled, have a mishpuch. It's inevitable that people are going to do things that are going to hurt the other spouse. You forgot something that was important to her. Always tell yourself to fix that, to go back into that motion. Say, I'm very connected to him, her, I love, but I'm hurt. Or you shouldn't have done it. You're going to see your emotions are going to be not so closed. Oh, they'll be a little hurt, but okay, can deal with that. Imagine our holy kids, the kids that we came in before for the Shabbos, they are hurting us, not purposely, but they're hurting us through and through, and they know it, and they feel it. But if they could feel that Tati Mami hurt, you don't need to lie. You don't need to lie. It's emes. You're hurt. You're pained. This kid is destroying your home. But you love this kid immensely, and they feel the vibes from you. And my parents love me endless, regardless how I behave. Even if they hurt, and even if it's hard for them, they still love me. This kid has the greatest chance of becoming settled and start healing. As we spoke throughout the whole Shabbos. So we need to have skills, and this is a moidig skill for Shalom Bayis and a skill how to deal with these kids. And everything else that we spoke about this Shabbos, how to talk to the siblings, how to talk to ourselves, and how to deal with Shalom Bayis, and how to talk to these kids, and how to talk to all these are all about skills. So if we're going to start davening to the Rebbeinu Shalom, as a Rebbeinu Shalom, whatever you are sending me is the best thing ever for me. But please, give me the skills, send me the right people to tell me how I should do this. That should be our tefillah. That should be our tefillah. Don't worry, the Anshe Knesset Agdala put him to the Siddur and in Tehillim enough to actually ask that the Gezaira should change. But that's in the Siddur. It's in the Siddur, it's in Tehillim. We ask for Gitte Kinder, for alle Gitte Sachen, it's all in there. We need to have skills how to daven. We need to have skills how to teach our kids. Someone brought up today, how to get a 12-year-old kid to go daven. It's a skill. Our parents didn't have skills. If you don't have skills, what do you do? You go strict, you scream, you bribe, you'll do everything. There's a skill. There's someone out there. Put it into your head. You need strength, skill, and the wisdom. The Ikkevar's a skill. I tried actually, when I was thinking about bringing up this topic tonight, I tried to translate. Maybe Rabbi Schwartz can help me. How would you translate the word skills? English Kodesh or in Yiddish. What's the other word? Is there any language? Kisharon? Kishurun? Shin means Kishroinus. But Kishroinus means that someone is talented. Doesn't mean skill? It's talent. Did I? There is no actual word. In Yiddish auch nicht, right? Is that a word for skill? How would you... So I need to use it. What? A fach. A fach is a trait. Skill is a beautiful word. It happens to be. I once heard a very big professor, he said, I think Wawa Jacobson interviewed him, and he said, our kids are not missing will, they're missing skill. They don't have the skills how to deal with their emotions when they're angry. They don't have the skills how to deal with their moistness when they're angry. They don't have the skills to regulate their central nervous system. And if we don't have the skill how to deal with a kid that doesn't have the skill, World War III in our homes, until you come to unconditional parenting, World War III. So we are here to learn skills. So I'm begging you, don't just leave the Shabbos. Kailim, it's also the Kailim, okay. Don't just leave the Shabbos the way it is. Put into your plan immediately. to set up and to be by, I know Mrs. Rosenberg, Tzedakis does support groups, unbelievable in the house. And Yasser Rosenberg, all the different. I'm not familiar with all the support groups. Sign up to support. You don't have to sign up. Whatever, just go join. We need more skills. By sitting with other people that are in the same situation, they give you the skills. There's a skill for everything. I was speaking for the Grisham, for my organization, for the Achim Baderich in Galat a few weeks ago. They also made a Shabbaton, and I was there. We were there together, and there's a skill, there's a way how to deal with your emotions when you're goodish. I was giving them skills. How do you deal with your nisyonis? Fingalat came out with you. There was for 5 years. I'm struggling. Like, there are skills. I gave the skills that I know. I'm sure there's other people that know more. Reach out to someone in that nisyon. Gonna blow you away. In other words, it's called experience. Someone has experience. It's not experience. It's the skills that person learns, sometimes on their own. Of course, for me, this design is very my own also, besides dealing with this for almost 20 years. Well, I'm also in this design. Obviously, since I'm in this design, I must admit that I understand it way more than I used to before. But we need skills and start seeing you're going to have the skills, you're going to have an easy life. It's interesting in the Pirkei Avos, it says Az punem legehenem, it boish punem leganeiden. Az punem, the push-up shot, is the Az punem legehenem. A boish punem, someone that's idle, adin, those guys is the Ganeiden. But the Hasidic Sfurim always learned the Mishnah, Mishnayos, and all these, the Torah, not only with Pshat, we learned that with Remes, Drish, and Soid. So the Heilige Rebbe Zisha says, "Wusmand as punem legehenem." He says, someone is as punem. Someone is very, very strong-natured, and he's a moed to go over Hashem, and he does what's right. What the Rebbeinu Shalom wants him to do is legehenem. He could go down to Gehenem to save all the Yiddish neshomas, i.e., your own kids. Someone is weak, is not so sure about his Yiddishkeit. He's a schwachitschke. You sit in Besmedrish. Don't put yourself into Nisyonis. None of us put ourselves into Gehenim, into the Nisyonis. Hashem is the one that chose us. That means that we are strong. Az punim. We are strong people. That Hashem gave us this Nisyon. He said, you are strong enough in your Yiddishkeit. You're strong enough in your emotional and mental koiches to deal with these kids that are nebuch in their own Gehenim, in their own self-made or trauma-made Gehenims. So sometimes when you need more koiches, remember you're azim shabemus. We're strong. If we were chosen to be dealing with this Gehenim and being exposed to this, all this, to Rebbeinu Shalom, all these things, must be that we are azpun. We are strong. I think that this is something that we could take along and try to realize that Hashem chose us to deal with this. Now, ultimately, I'm not going to schlep too long. We heard so many drushas throughout Shabbos, yesterday, 2 days ago. When we are going through this, there's the emotional component in us, there's the mental component and the physical component and the financial component. All of it is being drained. Our batteries are not like, Mama's drained, and it could be detrimental. We need to be very, very careful of our own health. You have to take this as a mission from the Rebbeinu Shalom to deal with it. I'm not saying it's easy all the time, because sometimes we take everything and we say, Rebbeinu Shalom, you gave me this mission. I'm going to fail, I'm going to do wrong, I'm going to write, whatever. I'll try, I'll pick up more skills and more strength and more chizik, but there are moments that we can't take it, and we need to remember to regulate our own central nervous system. Our amygdala has secondhand smoke, secondhand trauma. From watching this and seeing this, This is. So one of the ways, Tak, is to make it samkim, big shavusim and smaller groups, and other people talk, and it's such validation when you hear someone else speak and you speak, and you hear how they did everything wrong, and then they finally figured it out, and then you're picking up skills and chizik, and we need to take care of ourselves. We can't do this. I know we have the Az Punim, and we have to tap into that, and maybe by the Chabiris, we should remember that with the Az Punim, the Gehenim. And the same thing is our mental capacity, our financial capacity, and we spoke about today. I was happy that it came up by the panel. Some people think they have to sell, again, the Ar Matzuvim, where you need to sell your shoes for your child. There are such Matzuvim, but most of the time not. I'm happy this is going on video because so many people are the people that don't come here, they think that this is what we preach. Everybody should. There's a lot of guidelines, a skill. You have to know how to spend, when to spend for the kids. We are all so drained. So we need to tap into chizik and advice and skills, but really check into yourselves the whole time. If you're able to do it with your spouse, if you're able together to go out once a week, go on a date night. People think a date night is only when you're dating. Every marriage, Kolchkin, the people like us that are dealing with such huge challenges that Hashem gave us. Until we don't have all the skills, until we didn't work out our own system, we need to have koyach. If you go out on a date night, and a date night is not to go out and discuss all the heavy conversations and cry together, that you can do the other night. Date night is for fun. Just to shmiss some light conversations. Turn off your cell phone. Just for an hour, 2 hours. It doesn't have to cost money. Just on a walk. Just to laugh again. And just to remember and act out like little kids as if you're 18 years old and you're meeting the first time. Do this all your life. We need to have the koiches. I sound weird? Sorry. Too bad. I'm married, Baruch Hashem, 19 years. Yesterday was our anniversary. I don't think we've passed a week of not dating. Baruch Hashem, we need it. Baruch Hashem, we have so much to deal with. So much to see on is Baruch Hashem. But the more skills I have, suddenly it gets easier. Ayid came over to me in Shabbos and said, "How he's smiling?" I don't know if he knows my life, but the little bit knows he could. How he's smiling. It's a skill. It's a skill. And you know what the skill of smiling is? I'll tell you my secrets. I'm telling this person now. I didn't answer me because I was rushing. My skill of laughing and smiling and being in a good mood a lot of times is because I learned something amazing. The Baditche Berufa gesagt, 3 things we have to learn from a little child. He cries when something hurts him, and when he wants something, he'll cry, and he's happy for no reason. And I put it together. If someone is able to cry when something bothers them, they're able to laugh afterwards. If you never really cry, you never really tap into your emotions, you never really throw a tantrum, an adult tantrum. How could you be happy? It's always in your head, in your back of mind. It never lets you get to a happy place. I'll make a confession. I have once a week when I deal with my problems, and I could cry sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't go. It does go. I try to be as real as I can, and I try to be as human as I can, and then later I'm able to be b'simcha. Because my subconscious is not trying to put in my face again, but what are we going to do with that? What are we going to do with that? What are we going to do with that? It's like keeping all the folders open in front of us. Imagine you come to your desk, and all the folders of every issue they did is writing. You put it away, you bring it back up. You can't deal with everything at a time. If you put away a zman once a week that you deal with your issues, twice a week, whenever you need, as much as you can, you're going to find yourself happier. That's a skill. There's a skill. There are skills how to deal with stress. How many people are getting sick by the 50, 60? They start getting arthritis. I don't know. Again, the Eibster feed the Welt. What can we do to stay healthy? It's a skill. It's a skill how to deal with stress. It's a skill how to be mechanech the kids. It's a skill how to be mechanech the troubled kids. Enough said. The Eibster helpful. That we should all compliment ourselves, thank ourselves, be proud of yourself. So I can't believe that I am up to this stage. I went through such a long journey until now. Hashem should give me vate koyach, that I should be able to continue helping my child going through their journey. And I want to thank you again for giving me the opportunity, me and my wife, on behalf of my wife, the opportunity to come shmiz with you and for bringing with you the Shabbos. I'm telling you, all Yidden are going to go Kegen Mashiach Tzedkaini, and it should happen b'Kura B'Yamayni.